So do you guys know what white privilege is? Have you ever heard of it?
No.
You've never heard about white privilege?
No.
Welcome back to my channel, Mother Suckers. Hey, it's your girl. I am Eloho. Yes, it's me with her rose gold wig. I have to give y'all the tea on this hair because sis, this was made for chocolate. As you can see, like the roots, the highlight, but like the root, look at the roots of this hair. It's like really dark. It matches perfectly with my skin tone. And then we get into the rose gold champagne ombre, period. So before you finish this video, if you are not subscribed to my channel, like, you know you playing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the unicorn gang. Stay up to date with me throughout the week at I am Eloho on all platforms. You'll know it's me when you see me. So it's been a minute since I've done a reaction video, and one of my subscribers on Snapchat sent me this link. I saw like the first 2 minutes of it and I was like, oh yeah, we gotta react to this. It's not every day that you see some shit like this, okay? The title of the video is Danish People on White Privilege. And off the rip is very interesting because I feel like when the shoe is on the other foot, like we obviously can see it, but when you're actually walking, talking, living, and born into it, sometimes it's not as obvious. So it's like, okay, let me see how white people feel about white privilege. Do they acknowledge it? Is this something that they're taught? Are they fighting against it? Are we all really equal? Girl, yeah, let me put my little scarf back on because I'm really just distracting myself. It's hot girl summer though. Like, if you can't get into the looks, the facts, and the tea, the summer's not for you. Let's start.
Last week, I went onto the streets of Copenhagen, Denmark to interview Danish people about the concept of white privilege. Let's see what they thought. Okay, so rich black guys are still underprivileged compared to extreme, like, let's say like a homeless white guy, almost.
I think so.
So do you guys know what white privilege is? Have you ever heard of it?
No.
You've never heard about white privilege?
No.
It's
Actually, I have.
You have, right?
Interracial.
All right. It's like this concept that white people are basically like they're born with more privilege, more opportunities than other people. Even let's say if a rich black guy is born, let's say and a poor white guy, the white guy is still going to be more privileged in some sort of way because he's white. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, so that's something that you talk about in schools?
Yeah.
All right, so the teachers...
So they clearly said they don't know what white privilege was, but they do understand what white privilege is. I don't know.
Something that you talk about in schools?
Yeah.
All right, so the teachers try to educate you about white privilege, you can say in a way.
Yeah.
What are some perks that white people get that other...
I'm actually really curious. So if teachers are teaching y'all about white privilege, why did you say you didn't know? Something ain't right here, but we gonna keep watching.
That other races don't have. It's still recording, right? All right, great.
Okay. I don't really know. No. I just. You go ahead. I don't know.
If two people are born, one person is poor and one person is rich, do you think there's a bigger difference between those than two people who have an equal amount of wealth but are different races?
I don't really.
You don't know?
Okay, I'm gonna keep watching.
I don't really.
You don't know?
I haven't thought about it.
No.
But no. It's definitely like stuff to take in and think about. But I wouldn't really know.
So you were taught this in school, but you can't answer any of his questions, and you really don't know anything.
What are some things you guys think you can do to combat this? Maybe marry black guys, or what are some?
Yeah, maybe. Oh, well, I think I love black guys. I also
You guys love
black guys.
You guys love black guys? All right.
I feel like that might be like very.
Do you prefer black guys to white guys then?
I don't prefer. Maybe like
they got a bigger dick. Is that it?
No.
Child, what is going on in this interview? The BBC is international, honey. Oh, good Lord. But here's the thing though, in my personal opinion, interracial dating, having mixed babies, that does not that does not combat white privilege or racism. Obviously, white women like black men, but do they like black women? I think that's the real issue here.
So white privilege, do you know what it is?
I'm
you heard
aware
of
of
it?
it, yes.
All right, great. So what do you think about it? Is it a real thing?
It is a real thing. Absolutely, it is.
Right, where are you?
Confidence. I like her.
From Sweden.
Oh, you're from Sweden, right? So in Sweden, what are some ways that you think white privilege has an influence on society?
Well, that's a really tough question, but I can tell by my perspective. I see like white people treated better.
Yeah.
I'm from Palestine.
Yeah.
And I speak really good Swedish, but still people look at me like in a different way because maybe my hair is black and I'm not from Sweden. You know, I'm not
Right.
white.
Yeah. So you don't think you're white yourself, or? I mean, you can be white passing.
I'm born in Sweden, so
Yeah.
I think it's my country. I was born there, so
Yeah.
if someone tells me like go back to your country, I'm like okay,
But
I
if
am
you
in
look
my
at you, I mean,
country.
I would think that you would be white. So it's weird that you
I
aren't treated
consider
like
myself
that.
as white, but
Yeah.
also as an Arab. But
Yeah.
still, people look at you in a kind of in a different way.
What are some ways?
She's a white Arab because she has a different culture from Sweden, and people don't look at her as, I guess, like a white Swedish person.
So like a poor Ukrainian guy and a rich Ghanaian guy both come to Sweden. Do you think that the poor Ukrainian guy is still going to have more privilege because of some underlying white chauvinism, basically, compared to the rich Ghanaian guy?
I think so because
That's so sad.
What are some ways you think we can combat this white privilege?
oh god, I don't know really. I
Have
mean,
more colored people?
how much call people or maybe understanding people.
Right.
I
So,
think we need understanding people. Yeah. I think that's my answer right now.
all right. So, but what about like, let's say, bringing in more colored people to Sweden? Do you think that would help?
That would not help. I'm
That wouldn't
telling you.
help.
No. No, believe me.
All right. Cool. Well, interesting. And what are some
Yeah, that's gonna make it worse because they're just gonna treat a whole bunch of black people like shit. No, thank you.
you feel that you can contribute to this battle against white privilege? You,
I mean, if
as
someone
a
maybe
oppressed Palestinian girl.
okay, well, if I see maybe a black dude or girl getting harassed or something, the only thing I can do is stand up for them. Actually.
Right. But would you also do that if it was like a white guy getting harassed
Of course,
by some
of course,
by some blatas or whatever you say over in Sweden?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course.
All right, you still stand up to
Answer.
it.
Good answer. Good answer.
Women.
Cool.
I think maybe like more white girls marrying black guys and stuff would help to
It will help. Interracial marriages and couples, I love them actually because they get so cool kids and cute kids, you know, with
All
the
right.
curly hair. And
Can we just have a we love interracial couples?
I was rooting for you. I talk about this on my channel a lot. I do. It's not just black people that fetishize mixed kids. It's also white people that fetishize mixed kids. Binge watch my videos. You'll see.
How do you think it affects people?
I heard, I think it was an American, I think it was an American sociologist who spoke to, I think it was on the International Women's Day, and he said, if a white man look in the mirror, he sees a human. If a white woman look in the mirror, she sees a woman, and if a black woman look in the mirror, she sees a black woman. And I think that sums it up pretty well. That privilege is something you see when you don't have it, but if you have it, you don't see it.
Wow, she made a really good point. She made the most sense. Privilege is something that you see when you don't have it, and something that you don't see when you do have it. Good answer.
But don't we just need to make black women then also see themselves as women, I guess, and de-racialize them?
I think it's more to think about the white thing and not too much about the color thing, because it's a privilege that we are not aware of, and that's kind of the concept of white privilege.
So we need white people to be aware that they're white.
Exactly.
I think that's
to know that they're privileged.
So we shouldn't bring back white identity. That would be bad also. Or like
I
don't think
think
it's
it's okay
possible.
to be aware that you're white, because that's part of being aware that colors is not something that you only are if you have a different color than white, but color is also something that you have if you're white, and that makes certain things easier for you in society.
What are some ways you think we can combat white privilege?
To acknowledge it and accept that it exists, for one. I think that would be a start to, but it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's structures.
What if we bring in more colored people? Do you think that would be a great way to combat white?
This whole bring in more colored people, I don't like this. I don't like none of his questions, honestly.
Privilege in general. So like marrying black guys and getting...
Yeah, but more, like from, in the big jobs,
Yeah.
The same with women. If we have like a more, in all the powerful posts in the society, if that were more mixed.
I think there's...
So to sum it all up, we need more brown women in Denmark, basically. Would that be
but not just in Denmark, more in the powerful post, if
in the world.
I think we need to prioritize it as a society, and people need to vote for people who care about these matters, because I think it's on a structural level.
Yeah,
I think there's
so
things you can do as a one single person that also makes a difference, and that's also important.
Right.
And that's, I think, as you say, awareness and
on a personal...
To say if someone is not being aware, then to point it out that now you're not aware about this, and to think about these kind of things. But I think in the big picture and where the big changes is structural.
I write about it, speak about it in the press, make sure that, I work advice and try to not only use white males when we need to talk to someone who knows something about something or
Thank you so much. We need more colored women in power, and thank you so much. All right, cool shopping.
First of all, I really don't like the whole colored thing. I don't. It just reminds me of slavery days, like you colored, you nigger colored. I don't like being referred to as colored. I prefer melanated, I do. Overall, I'm actually a little bit surprised by this video. I feel like those two women gave like the best responses. The woman that was sitting down, the Arabic woman, she gave some really good responses as well. He only interviewed like 5 people, so this doesn't speak for the whole country, of course not. But this does show us to an extent where the population is. Now, it seems to be that everyone is aware of white privilege. They may not be able to articulate what white privilege is. They may not be able to understand how to stop it, but they're aware that being white does grant them things that being black will deny you. This is not in America, this is in Denmark, okay? Child, I would love to see some white Americans admit their privilege. I don't know if that's gonna ever happen. The two women really hit the nail on the head for me. They were able to point it out. They were able to give some solutions. Using your privilege, using your platform or whatever you do, however your privilege shows up for you, being aware of it, that's number one. You can't just go through life thinking like, oh, well, like, we all have an equal chance and we all can just work hard and be successful. It's actually not like that. You do have a head start at life. 2, using your head start, if you are an ally and if you are someone who wants to combat white privilege and racism, using your head start, using your advantage to help other people who were not born with that advantage because of white supremacy. So it's not like, oh, we just weren't born with that advantage because, oh, we're just not good enough or whatever. No, it's actually white supremacy. It's the powers that be. So no, erasure is not going to help. Having mixed babies is not gonna help. Loving the BBC is not gonna help. You know what I mean? It's literally using your privilege to help those who are less privileged. Thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. Let me know what you thought of this video down below in the comment section. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you like my content, and I'll see you at the next one.